Is looking for a second date update with a guy named Colby, and we're going to try to help him out. Hi, Dylan. How are you?
Hey, Jeff and Jen. How are you guys?
Hi.
Great.
Good.
Thanks for asking. Want to fill us in on Colby? Tell us how that all went down, how you two met. We'll go from there.
Yeah, well, I've just been having like a terrible time dating since the holidays, really. Like, I'm just getting so frustrated. And I met this guy, Colby, on Grindr, and we met for dinner at York Street, and we had like a great time. We were there for like several hours. We had a whole bunch of cocktails. Like, the chemistry was really great. It was like off the charts. Like, it was just, we were having like the best connection, and we were joking and like laughing, and I thought we had like a lot in common, you know, like we had same interests, like we liked the same music, we had similar hobbies, like working out and stuff. We both spent like a lot of time in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
We were even talking about like how we belong to different gyms, and that we would talk about maybe going to each other's gyms to check them out. So I thought that was a good sign. And after the date, we did end up back at my place, and he stayed the night, and that all went really good. And then we got up the next morning, and I made him some coffee, and I cooked some eggs, and everything was cool. Everything was kind of like the night before, and he kissed me goodbye and said that he'd talk to me later, and I never heard from him. I texted and messaged him on Grindr, and I have not heard a word back. And I'm just really disappointed. I really like this guy. I thought it was really going to go somewhere, and I'm just left stranded like this.
So you're looking for a relationship,
Yeah, I mean, ideally, that would be nice.
not just a hookup. And are you two about the same age?
Yeah, he's like a couple years older, I think. But yeah,
May I ask how old you are?
I'm 29. He's like, I think 31.
Okay. Okay.
So let me ask you this. When you guys first connected on Grindr, was it a conversation about looking for relationships, or was it you looking?
It wasn't. It wasn't really about us like looking. Like, we just, I don't know, started talking. Like, he had a normal profile. It wasn't like explicit or anything. And you know, we scheduled a date. You know, we went out and you know, had cocktails and stuff. Like, it wasn't, you know, straight to the point. So it definitely was in that vibe of let's get to know each other first, more than, you know, the bedroom. So I don't know, but it's like after it happened, then he just kind of like walked away, and I don't know if that's what did it. I don't know.
Well, considering how many things you guys have in common and the chemistry you had and the time that you spent together, you'd think he'd at least give you a courtesy call back and say, let's at least hang out.
Exactly. That's what I thought too. Like, you know, even just like a vague kind of, oh yeah, I had fun, like we should do it again sometime. And then like, we don't follow through, like, okay, but just not talk to me at all. Like, it's got me like confused.
Yeah.
Okay, well, why don't we take a break? When we come back, we'll call Colby. We'll see. We'll just see where his head is at. Second date update continues. Alan connected with Colby on Grindr, and they started out with a hangout at York Street, which pretty much took up the entire night. Off the charts chemistry, similar everything. Went back to Dylan's place, coffee and eggs the next morning, a kiss goodbye, and a talk to you later. Those are my notes.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds really solid to me.
You were paying attention, Jeff.
Look at
Great
me.
job.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Look at this chicken scratch over here.
Just look at you.
Yep. Dylan is obviously looking for a relationship, which is, he's been frustrated with dating up until now, and he thought there might be a chance there with Colby. Hard to get a read on Colby outside of the kiss goodbye and I'll talk to you later. It sounds like it may have been more of a hookup to him.
I mean, I think it's always a positive if they stay, if they don't, if they stay the whole night and don't slip out in the middle of the night or bust right out. I mean, if they spend a little time and you have a little coffee, some eggs, you know, add in bacon, and then you know it's serious.
Promising, yeah. All right, well, if there's anything that we forgot, Dylan, now's the time, or if there's something else you thought of that you think might be significant or pertinent.
No, I mean, I was just going to say, like, it seemed kind of romantic. Like, our date together, it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't straight to the point like that. Like, it was definitely chemistry and talking and getting to know each other. So,
okay. All right, let's call Colby. See what he says.
Hello.
Hi, Colby.
Yes.
It's Jeff, Jen, Fritch, and Tim at Q102. How you doing?
Hey.
What's happening?
You're really calling me right now. Am I on the radio?
Only with your permission. If you're a fan of the show, we'd love to talk to you.
Yeah, sure. What can I do for you?
Well, we spoke with a friend of yours, Dylan, and he was telling about the fun night you had together recently, and he had nothing but great things to say about you, and we just wanted to say hey and see what you've been up to these days.
Okay, wow. He does seem like kind of the needy type. Oh, God. I don't want to be a but it's not going to work for me.
Why not? You guys had such a great time, and you obviously were not in any hurry to exit. You guys partied all night. You hung out the next morning. Yes, it sounds like you have a lot in common.
Chemistry was there, right?
Well, he told me that he was a server at this pretty nice restaurant.
Yeah.
So, I thought he might do. But then when we got over to his place, it's just, again, I don't want to sound like a dick or anything, but it's just obvious that he doesn't make enough money for me.
Oh.
And how were you able to judge that exactly? Because, some people sock it all away.
Oh, good point.
Well, I have a certain standard of living that I'm looking for, and yeah, he didn't cut it. He's a nice enough guy, though. He'll do great out there. He's attractive. That's going to get him a long way. It's just not for me.
Wow.
I'm pretty frugal. I'm not one that you would
That's
think
one
is,
word
wow,
you can use for it.
that
Yeah.
guy's loaded. That's probably not something you're going to think when you see me. But, you never know.
But maybe
Yeah, but you
Don't
know
judge
how
a book
much-
by its cover.
But you don't know how much money you got in your bank account. Like, you might be living very, below or the, middle level, and you might be a millionaire.
That's what I'm saying.
people
So-
that happens
Tim.
all the time. Like that lady that everybody thinks doesn't have a pot to pee in, dies and has millions in the bank.
Yeah, but what about how did he spend on the date, though? That's the thing. I always want to know, how do they spend on the date? Because if they were pinching pennies during the meal, that's what you're getting.
Well, I paid for the date.
Oh, okay.
So what were the things that you noted that, aren't to your luxury standards?
Well, if you've got some money, to me, you don't buy your bedding at Walmart, right, and sit on furniture that you put together yourself. I don't think so. You've got to live.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Everybody in this room's out.
Yeah,
know.
you wouldn't date any of us.
The amount of IKEA furniture I have produced.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, I'd pay
Yep.
IKEA to come set it up.
Right, okay. We're out of the running.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, so is Dylan. I'm sorry, Dylan.
Honestly, it's totally okay. I'm actually really glad you called because I did not know that he was even like that. Hearing that toxic energy immediately turned me off. I would never judge somebody on what kind of furniture they have in their house. I don't know. I didn't know that he was like that, and I'm really glad for the clarity because I'm not interested anymore either.
Okay.
All right. Well, we appreciate you both taking the time out of your day to talk to us so we could have this honest, sobering conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And we wish you both the best of luck. And thank you so much for coming on Second Date Update.